Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to What's Map, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today we've got a map which is a little bit fantastical, but fantastical in more than one way. First of all, it's a fantasy style map. It doesn't quite make sense, and that's the sort of map we call a fantasy map. It's also by a creator who, well, we'll get to that sting in a moment, but has never made a theme before and has used their very own theme to create the map with, and it's very striking. The theme itself is very striking. There are some minor problems with it, but listen, it's all in the creator's name. It really is. As I've never made a theme before, I tried and it looks really tough. The creator also, that's right, and well, we've got a few problems there as well, but let's go easy on them. It is a first time and it's a very valiant effort, just with a few minor problems. But first of all, you should have no problem finding that like button. That's right, it's the easiest thing you'll do today. Even easier than not doing it. Today's map is Orion's Belt by Thisthingshard. Now, I did chuckle when I first read that, but yes, map making is hard and theme making is also pretty hard as well. There's your start square. We've got a little highway connection in the top left hand corner. You can't quite make it out from here because of the logo. There's your terrain height, plenty of flat space and some interesting mountains as well. We've got strong resources, blimey, strong resources. You're not going to be missing for resources today. And if you've got Sunset Harbour and you want to do some fishing, a fishing map looks like this. And yes, I did notice. Did you notice? Shall we? Yeah, we'll zoom right in on this little fella. It's a happy map. Okay, off to the workshop. Oh, workshop, what do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one, apparently. I don't remember, actually. I wasn't looking for mass transit. I was busy looking for the assets. This list of assets on the right-hand side, well, actually, some of them aren't required. Those ones aren't actually required, but there's also a couple of items that are missing. So, yeah, we've got a few workshop issues going on there. I'm going to be keeping an eye open for mass transit roads now on the flyover because it was one of those things that skipped me by. There were so many other things to keep a track of today. Anyway, the highways, we've got the highway here. It was elevated at ground level on the left for a little while there. I did spot that one. And then we've got an elevated. Now, on the fantasy map, I guess we can allow for this one. A realistic map, it would probably be down at ground level at this location on the map. But you know, it's an interesting take. I'm all for doing something a bit interesting and a bit different, and they've certainly had a go. Now, in the description, it does say that you're going to need tree anarchy because they're very close to the tree limit. And if you have a look around, there aren't really many trees. I'm wondering whether there's something in that missing assets issue that we had there. We got a little bit of a jinky janky there, right under the camera. And so there's a few jinky jankies on the map. You'll notice a couple of others. Nothing horrific, but one or two that are just a little bit eye-catching. Probably more eye-catching than that one. These caught my eye. A little bit of foliage under the road. And of course, these are non-terrain conforming grasses, which means you put them on the edge of a steep slope and they just stick out like they're growing on glass. Downward slope on the bridge there, and a little bounce back up as you get to the other end of it. I'm not worrying too much about that sort of thing today, because like I say, they've had a serious go at doing something that is serious hard work, and this thing is hard. There's no argument there. Now, we've got a very nice vanilla wishbone intersection there, bringing us down to the main highway. It's going to take us down to the start square. And the start square intersection's just a little bit different. Now, a janky going on there, and then jinky immediately afterwards, and a janky on the other side. But yes, the start square intersection is a little bit different. There's something about it that you're going to notice instantly. I'm pretty sure that the creator didn't intend it, and it's up to you whether you want to upgrade it or leave it as it is. It's up to you. I know what I would do, but I'm not telling you what to do. Listen, if you choose to play on this, the thing is, if you're liking the visuals on this map, you're going to play on it regardless of anything that I say here. I mean, I've already shown you what trees are missing, what needs to be added. A little bit of blue mantle under here, actually. Just a little bit of blue mantle on the underside there. And then we'll join back up with the highway. But yeah, it is a tough old ask, really, building a map. But then coming up with a theme. The theme, I like the theme in general. But we'll have a look in the second half of the show about the tiling on the theme. I mean, obviously coming down the ground. Oh, there's the start square intersection right in front of us now. Can you see? Can you see? Nice, isn't it? Or is it what we were expecting? I mean, it's going to work. It's going to work. I don't know. Mr. Creator, I don't know. I don't think that's what you were going for there. Anyway, elevated at ground level, on one side pushing into the terrain, keeping the terrain flat. I can understand why that's been done. And then we go elevated, and we have actually got an elevated highway going into the start square, which isn't ideal and doesn't make an awful lot of sense, but it's a fantasy map, so sense doesn't really matter quite so much. My only real quibble isn't that it's elevated, it's just that it's actually really quite high. I mean, it could be higher, but that is quite an elevation to come in. Now, if you're going to be building a fantasy city, maybe you do want an elevated highway coming into Start Square, that sort of height. I don't know, I've never built a fantasy city. Anyway, we've got rail that heads up there. Oh, I've not had a look at the rail over the water. Let's have a little look at the rail bridge. There's chances that that's going to be It's going to be interesting. It's very interesting. It's a floating rail line there, leading up to quite a steep climb there. Again, steepness doesn't matter so much on the fantasy map, but I do feel that it could have been done with a little bit more panache than we've got there. Certainly, with more experience, I'm sure Thisthingshard will make some more maps and will gain some more experience and will get a little bit more polished at their work. Anyway, we now end up going off to the edge of the map, through the forest. Yes, there are branches on the line. Yeah, okay, I get it. We'll take a brief intermission. We'll come right back.
Have you ever wanted to create a snow scene in your summer city, but you're not interested in buying the Snowfall DLC? Then you need the Beginner's Guide to Snow Without DLC by BonBonB. Click the information button now.
And we come back to Orion's Belt by Thisthingshard and the shipping routes. Right, okay, the shipping route doesn't start out too bad. We've got a couple of jinkies in the actual route itself, but that doesn't matter so much because it won't show too much with the ships. It's really right angles and sharper than right angles that causes, like this one. If that ship wanted to turn right there, it would slow down and make a very drawn out turning. Heading down here into the bay towards where our harbour would be. Just outside of the start square there, that's fine. And another right angle. And then another right angle. So it could be worse. We could be zigzagging. I mean, zigzagging would be worse. Do you agree? I think it probably would be a little bit worse. Okay, let's have a look at the water flow. Right, water flow was interesting. We've got strong water flow going through the start square. There's no question about that. Just a corner there, and then we've got a big chunk of the lake. But it's flowing the opposite way from what I expected. So water is flowing downstream this way and then heading down through here and off towards the edge of the map, which is like a slightly different route from what I thought we'd be doing. And we got, yeah, it's still flowing downstream there. Oh, I've just noticed a little bit of backwards highway there. That's going to need reverting or inverting, I guess, or correcting. We'll go with correcting. Right, okay, let's talk about the good stuff. I'm liking the shapes and the forests. I'm liking the shapes of the mountains. I'm generally liking the theme on the whole. The overall aesthetics is quite nice. So there's plenty of good stuff. The aesthetics is the thing that's going to sell you on the map if you like it. But speaking about themes, especially this grassland theme here, you can see how it tiles once you look from a distance. And like we've got a dark corner there and a light corner here, and of course those corners we're going to meet up on that point there. You can very much see the crossroads of all four carpet tiles as such, and even down here at ground level is a very clear line So yes, it's a bit of an art coming up with a theme that doesn't tile, and some people are much better than others. Again, not something that I'm particularly skilled at, so I'm not going to give advice. Then we got, I like this little area here for water. That's a very interesting little shape going on there, and I give credit for that. You see, when we give scores at the end, I give credit for something. This one looks a bit like a dolphin, I feel, with lots of drowned trees. Yes, plenty of drowned trees going on here. But the lake itself is like a stylised dolphin. I don't know if it's by chance, but I see the tail and the head at this end, something like that. And then we have another lake over here with some more drowned trees over here. Only this one looks more like a whale. Humpback whale. Anybody? I think so. That can't be by chance. Or can it? I don't know. But I think they're very striking shapes and good, interesting shapes. This, I thought, was a Park Life cave. You know, the Park Life... Oh, hang on a second. I've forgotten to put the... Let me go back to where we were. And there we go. This, I thought, was a... Didn't notice the editing issue, did you? No, right. This looks like one of those Park Life caves, but no, it's just a lump in the terrain with more bits sticking out. And there are a few little bumps and little spikes across the map here and there. It's not horrendous, but there are a few that you'll spot. It takes 2 seconds to level them out, though. Anyway, into Start Square. And we've got the asset of the day. This one is the City Pool Complete by Dave89, and I think it's just because of the light on it. There is actually water, the transparency water in there. You'll get just from certain angles you get a hint of it. I'm not showing it off to its best, I'm certain, but anyway, great little asset here from Dave89, and we'll do a factoid, because factoids, I'm sure one that you know already. Orion's Belt, or the Belt of Orion, also known as the Three Kings or the Three Sisters, is an asterism in the constellation Orion. Looking for Orion's Belt is the easiest way to locate Orion in the night sky. The stars are more or less evenly spaced in a nearly straight line, and so can be visualised as the belt of the hunter's clothing. They are best viewed in the early night sky during the northern winter or southern summer, in particular the month of January at around 9 PM. Unless it's cloudy, which it generally is in the UK in January. Oh, maybe. I think it was okay last night. I don't know if I could. I've seen it so many times, I don't think I need to see it again. It's like that movie, over and over. City Pool Complete by Dave89. Today's asset of the day. Right, okay, so Orion's Belt. What visual am I going to... I think we've got to go for something with a mountain in it, don't you? Right, what do you think of today's map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now in the top right hand corner of your screen, or the link in the description. It will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free with a Facebook, Gmail, Apple or a Patreon account. But what do I think of today's map? Well, aesthetically, we've got some definite iconic visuals across the map. Is it really? I don't know. No, I can't go to 4th star. I'm trying to be as supportive as possible. I can't go to 4th star. I'm gonna go for a. Let's be generous and go high 3. Okay. Detailing, because I've got to be tight on detailing. I'm sorry. There are lots of problems on the map, lots of issues with the map, and of course lots of workshop issues with the map as well. I've got to go low 2. Room for improvement. Gameplay potential is pretty playable, but there's a lot of things that you're going to want to fix as you go along. I'm going to go for a high 2. It's technically playable. We've got that backwards traffic as well. It's technically playable, but there's just one too many things really to fix for it to be getting the pass mark. Orion's Belt by Thisthingshard. You're not wrong. This thing's hard. I don't disagree. I really don't disagree. What you've achieved there is actually very good. It's a good chunk of the way towards quite a decent map. Just like I say, a more experienced creator would have probably then spent another 20 or 30 hours on it, and would have probably spotted a few from experience of the problems, but only because they're able. Anyway, are you still here? If you are, use the words of the day in the comments like I just did. Score yourself some population points just for fun. And I'm going to be back tomorrow with another map in the What's Map series. It's going to be the Patreon voted map. I wonder if they picked a good one this week.